Hi guys, this question is about what will come up in the 15-mark questions in the AS exam for Cambridge Geography course 9696. This particular video is about the atmosphere and weather unit. So the diurnal energy budget here we can see with the aid of examples assess the extent to which the albedo is the most important factor in determining the diurnal energy budget. So for this one here, it can be the albedo effect. Obviously, there's going to be other influencing factors, things like what causes specific heat capacity, latent heat capacity, incoming solar radiation, daytime, nighttime, right? So all of those things need to be discussed here, but can be broken up into several sections. Now, this one might be a little bit more difficult in terms of bringing in evidence. That's often the case with physical geography, but also you can put things in there, related to some case studies got to do with, say, urban heat island or specific percentages. Urban heat island is actually quite a popular one, so we see it coming up quite often here. This is just examples from the last, maybe 4 years. You can go back further and look at past paper questions, but most of these relate back to the urban heat island effect. It does expect you to have at least one case study here, like mentioning, for example, the extent to which human activity has affected the climate of an urban area. So there it doesn't say, it does say there with a case study, so it's singular. It wants you to talk about one. You can definitely have a minor case study to compare there. Overall then that is about just the urban heat island, understanding the different effects and then having statistics to back it up. So this is actually another question that I have as part of the AS exam course, so if you're interested in that, follow the link below and to see how to answer these and all the other different types of questions. This question is about weather, so it's the types of precipitation. Convection is the main cause of precipitation, so here you could talk about different types, but you could also talk about the 3-cell model perhaps, and you could talk about why that kind of changes due to high and low pressure, and then you could talk about frontal rainfall, all that type of stuff. Climate change questions then can come up in different ways. These ones here is the causes of climate change. One of them here is about the enhanced greenhouse effect, and this is quite an open question, so it expects you to talk about a big variety here. Assess the extent to which human activity is the main cause of global warming. So this one definitely wants you to talk about human activity, which you probably would have in the top one as well. So that's why we're grouping all these together the way they are, because realistically, if you can answer one, you can answer the other question here. Very same and similar situation with these questions about the urban heat island effect. If you're able to discuss one and get 15 marks on one using lots of great case study detail, you should be able to answer them all. Okay, with the global energy budget, we look at this. This is another one which is very popular. So you're going to talk about the global budget and look at energy transfer. Now this one has a mix of things to encourage you maybe to find the different paragraphs that could come up. For example, we've got ocean currents as the main theme of the question. We have wind belts as the main influence, land and sea distribution, seasonal variations of global wind pressures, and we also look at things like latitude and again back to ocean currents and winds. So in a normal question you would probably be talking about most of these anyways. They just want you to make an evaluation about it, right? So they're going to pick one that you have to discuss and then evaluate, compare it to the other ones. So like that, if you've got a paragraph for each one, like latitude, land and sea distribution, wind belts, ocean currents. So if you're able to write a paragraph about each one, you should be good for any version of this question that comes up. My advice is definitely to pick one of these and to become pretty familiar with it if you're going to answer atmosphere as your section 2. So overall, those are the main questions that could come up, just grouped together as a theme from the past couple of years. There are more questions out there for sure, like things like a question about fog might come up, for example, and a question about not just the causes of greenhouse gas and enhanced global warming, but also the effects might come up as well. Now this means that there's different variations. This isn't everything, but this is a good guide. If you answer one question from each of the group sections that I just went through, you should have yourself in a very good position to be able to answer most things that will come up in the exam. The question might be worded different, but the information could be the same. If you want to know how to answer 15 marks perfectly with examples and the other types of questions in the exam, the 8-mark questions and the shorter questions, follow the links below for our course and other resources that are coming out. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck.